Lovely, and we are going to start seated. So just as usual, any comfortable seated position, so we can find a bit of stillness and centering before we start to slowly warm up the body. So I'm just going to check everyone is on mute. All looks good. Lovely. So finding some kind of stillness and a bit of kind of comfort and ease here. So whatever that means to you in terms of the way that you are seated. Maybe if it feels nice for you, really closing the eyes so we can draw inwards, practicing our Pratyahara. So finding a little bit of ease. Maybe just to start inhaling, lifting the shoulders up around the ears, and then with a big exhale, letting them go, so letting them drop down. Maybe doing that a couple times, inhaling the shoulders up, exhale, letting that go. One more time, all together, lifting and dropping the shoulders. Maybe we make a big ha sound on the way down. Letting that release there. So as always, we kind of use that exhale to release a bit of tension in the body, find some stillness, maybe start feeling into the different areas of the body. So we're going to continue our spring theme this week. So definitely feels like spring with all the very kind of drastic changes of weather we're having. So just as we notice kind of changes in the weather and the external surroundings, we're going to look for them in the body now. So kind of investigating your body. So just like you're a little bee and you're investigating flowers, we're going to flutter your attention from one body part to the next. So looking for areas that feel good and nice and yummy, and paying attention to areas that don't as well. So no need to kind of change anything, remembering that nothing is broken. We're just going to notice how each part of the body feels. So maybe starting by bringing your attention to the head. So maybe the tip of the head, noticing any sensations here. Noticing what you can kind of sense, and noticing if there's no sensations either, that's perfectly fine. Sensing maybe the front of the face, so any kind of facial bones, any landmarks. Sensing your cheekbones, your jaw, the rims of the eyes, the soft kind of fleshy parts of your cheeks, your lips, your ears. And then we're going to start kind of feeling into the width of your shoulders now. So sensing into the kind of the triangle of your collarbones. Sensing your sternum, your shoulder blades. Maybe noticing if you kind of instinctively dropped your shoulder blades as we brought our attention there. Sensing into your center now, so bringing your attention to the belly, the hips, the long bones of the legs, noticing your feet and your toes as well. Now, having scanned the body, maybe we become aware of our breathing. Recognizing that your breath is the energetic support system that feeds your body, that nourishes your body. So noticing where the breath is today. Noticing where your energy state is. Do you feel empty or full, alert or tired? And finally, checking in with the mind. So whilst we've been doing all of that, Noticing the mind doing its job, carrying your thoughts in and out of your mind. Setting that intention to notice what's going to happen with the mind as we move on our mat this evening. Is there anything that wants to come to the surface, anything that wants to be seen or heard? Well, notice all of that with loving awareness. So maybe when you're ready, keeping the eyes closed, we'll bring the palms together, start to rub the palms together just to create a little bit of heat, a little bit of energy, some prana, as it were, in the hands. And so that we can gradually open our eyes and invite lots of lovely energy and warmth in. We're going to take those palms, place them over the eyes, and start to blink the eyes open, almost drinking in all that warmth, that heat, that energy. And then as slowly as you like, we'll start to take those palms away, bringing the light back in, bringing us all together back in the room. Lovely. And we'll just start by warming up the arms. So we're going to inhale, reach through the fingertips, unfurling the arms, taking them all the way up and overhead, meeting at the palms, bringing them down through the front center, so through our third eye chakra, our throat chakra, our heart chakra, and then doing that all over again. You can keep the movement kind of energetic and bright or as soft as you like. So we're just gently starting to feel into the body. Maybe seeing if we can use our breath to fuel the movement. So maybe as we inhale, taking the arms up and overhead. As we exhale, bringing them back down. So as always, moving in a way that feels right and feels true for you. So not worrying kind of what speed or rhythm I'm going or anyone else is. All we're doing is kind of showing up together. We don't need to move in exactly the same way. Lovely. And then next time your hands come free to center, we're going to take the left palm to the side. Start to reach up through the right fingers, gently pulling ourselves down towards the mat, so nice and gentle, not kind of forcing ourselves down. Keep that strong kind of integrity in the bottom arm. And then we're going to take that to the other side. So either cartwheeling the arms over, maybe you want to take a nice long leisurely walk, whatever feels good for you. Making sure that we find that length in the other side of the body too. Really kind of reaching out of the rib cage. Lovely. And then bringing that arm back down. From here, we're going to send the legs out nice and long. So you might want to swizzle around on your mat just so that you're kind of sat facing long ways. We're going to take the arms, we're going to take the legs out straight into this Dandasana shape. But we're trying to find a bit of integrity in the back. So what might be helpful is just to raise the knees just a little bit, if that helps you keep that straightness. So we can really get that kind of shape and integrity. So inhaling in, sitting up nice and tall, almost imagining that you're being lifted from the crown of your head. Ooh, noticing that kind of energetic shift to sit in this position. So it doesn't look like we're doing a lot, but if you're anything like me, you might definitely be feeling this. So noticing the muscles in the back start to engage from kind of the lower back all the way up to the shoulders. Noticing if the backs of your legs are starting to shout at you. And then when you're ready with an inhale, we're going to start to lift through that right knee. Come to place the right foot just outside the left leg. So we're crossing that one over, keeping the left toes nice and active, pointing up to the sky. And then using our left elbow, we're gently going to take hold of that knee and then bring the other arms around to get that little bit of a twist. Lizzie, you look comfortable there. Maybe just use the hand rather than the elbow, just to create a little bit of space. Taking the nose, the gaze over the back of the body. A nice bit of mobility in the spine. Holding it here for 3 breaths. Feeling into the belly as we breathe. Kind of finding that lift through the center. And then when you're ready, we'll bring ourselves back to center. And we're going to cross those legs over, so sending the right foot out. Bringing the left foot in this time. I'm going to take this on the other side. So Ardha Matsyendrasana. So knee is facing towards the ceiling. And then we kind of wrap that elbow, use the hand just to find that twist in the spine. So we're keeping a nice long back. Use the hand behind you for support to find that twist. Lovely, guys. Taking the gaze over the back shoulder. And then just as we did before, really kind of feeling into the belly. Opening out here. Really planting down. Super. And then when you're ready, bringing ourselves back to center. I'm going to take that leg back out long, and then we're going to come over into our tabletop. So whatever way is comfortable for you, maybe we're swinging the legs round. I like to cross the ankles and come on over. And then as always, grabbing anything we need here to make this tabletop comfortable. So maybe we want a blanket or something for the wrists to provide a bit of padding, something under the knees. You can always fold up your mat to add as a bit of extra padding as well. That can be nice. And then just gently starting to feel into your spine. So maybe you want to take some yummy cat-cows, kind of dropping the bellies, pushing into the shoulder blades. Maybe it feels more natural for you today to kind of dip the hips from side to side, finding a bit of length in the side body. Yeah, lovely, Alex. Maybe some circles or figure of 8 shapes. Great. Whatever feels nice here, there's no right or wrong. Kind of tending to the body, really nourishing and feeding the body before we kind of grow up into our standing poses. So playing around with kind of your energy levels today. Really planting through the hands. So pushing into all 5 fingertips. You're almost kind of creating like a bit of space between the hands. So knuckles and fingers and the thumb are really pointing in. That might kind of lift the backs of your hands away from the mat. Creating almost like a suction. Lovely, guys. So from here, when we're ready, we're going to tuck the toes under. Big inhale in. We're going to start to lift through that knees. Come to your hovering cat. So lots of integrity in the spine. Keep pushing through those fingers to find that Hasta Bandha. Feel that sensation as we connect to the earth. Maybe you start to get a little bit of a wobble, a bit of a shake. Don't worry, we're all there. We're all feeling it. Feeling that energy build in the legs and the center. And then holding it here for a couple more breaths if you like. Or we're going to start to grow up into our downward dog. So sending the hips back towards the ankles. Pushing up through those legs. Oh, feeling that kind of release in tension as we find our downward dog. Lovely. Making any adjustments, whether we're taking the ankles a bit wider, the wrists. Sinking that belly towards the legs. Lovely, guys. And before we get too cozy here, we're going to loop that in with our hovering cat. So from here, we're going to come right back to where we were before. So almost shifting the shoulders underneath the wrists, bringing the knees back down to just kind of an inch or so off the mat. And then sending the hips back to your downward dog. So cycling nice and gently through those 2 movements. I'm going to come and watch, so don't copy me for a minute. And maybe you find there's one of those that actually feels really nice, really good for you today, and you can linger there a bit longer, kind of welcome in that space or that energy. Or maybe we're going to keep it moving, keep it nice and dynamic. Kind of getting that balance of really kind of growing and moving and taking up space and finding that grounding as well. So connecting to your mat through your hands. Kind of rooting down as we reach the hips up. Lovely. So we're going to take a couple more breaths of this one. If you prefer to take a little bit of a rest or do something different, you are more than welcome to. And then when you're ready, a couple more breaths, and then we will all meet together in our downward dog. So no rush at all. And then settling in once we're here. So checking in again, go for a little bit of a checklist in your mind. Is there anywhere here that feel a little bit nicer? So whether that's taking the wrist a bit wider to release a bit of tension in the back, maybe taking the feet a little bit wider. Breathing into your downward dog. Noticing where the body is today, noticing where your mind has gone since you started moving. And then to bring a little bit of awareness and attention to our feet. As we inhale, we're going to come up onto our tippy toes, so just as tall as we can, sending the hips up. As we exhale, sink through the heels, bring them back down to the earth, really grounding into the mat. And don't worry, if your heels don't touch the earth, that is all good. Mine definitely don't. But just kind of that energetic sensation of them peeling down. So we'll take that a couple more times. We'll inhale, come right up onto your tippy toes, sending the hips all the way up, unfurling. As we exhale, matching that with how much we're grounding. Lovely, guys, planting the feet here. And then we'll take that one more time, inhaling in, coming up onto our tippy toes, keeping that breath going as we exhale. Grounding the feet down. Maybe we get a little bit of a stretch in the back of the legs. Lovely, guys. Sending our breaths to the calves, to the hamstrings. And then when you're ready, nice and slowly, almost as slow as we can with control, we're going to bring those knees down towards the mat. Take them nice and wide. And then we're going to come to find a child's pose or a resting pose. So bringing the toes together. Sending the hips back, surrendering the chest down towards the mat, finding a little bit of rest here. Lovely, listening to your breath, welcoming and cultivating that kind of restorative moment. Maybe thinking about any kind of seeds or intentions that we want to use this time to plant and nourish. Super, guys. When you're ready, really moving from your center, so connect to your belly button here. We're going to start to unfurl, come back up into your tabletop, so nice and slow. And then we want to come towards our Uttanasana, our forward fold. So from tabletop, I'm going to tuck the toes under. Maybe enjoy a little bit of a toe stretch as I send my hips up and back. And then gently and slowly start to walk my feet in. So I'm going to go for a nice leisurely walk, crossing the legs over, making the most of this journey up the mat. Coming to Uttanasana, and keep a nice generous bend in the knees. If that feels good. Allowing the chest to hang over nice and heavy. Maybe taking a moment to lift through all of the toes. So lifting the toes off the floor, feel that shift as we kind of take our weight more into the back of the foot, the back of the body. And then one by one, really rooting down. So maybe starting with the little toes, rooting all the way to the big toe. And then when we get there, we use our inhale to roll ourselves up to our Tadasana. Noticing as the legs kind of activate and switch on. Rolling the shoulders back as we get to the top. Arriving here in mountain pose, sending the palms forward. Lovely, guys, really good. So checking in here, checking in with the feet. Lifting our heart space up towards the sun. So really feeling that kind of chest to chin lift, chin to the sky. Now when we're nice and settled here, we're going to work through a few sun salutations. So we're going to start with some half sun salutations and then move to some kind of fuller length ones. The weather is kind of grey and miserable here, so let's really bring that energy of kind of inviting in the sun. So when you're ready, we'll inhale, we'll take the arms up and overhead. As we exhale, folding through the hips, swan diving the arms down, find your forward fold. Inhale, bring yourself to a halfway lift, pushing through the feet, nice and active in the back body. As we exhale, coming all the way down. Inhaling, coming all the way back up. So big stretch up to the sky. We'll take that again. Exhale, finding that fold, folding from the hips, coming all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, pushing through the feet. Exhale, Uttanasana, sending the hips up. With your next breath, bringing it all the way back up. Palms up overhead, bringing them down into the midline. Feeling that connection in the palms. Lovely, guys. Catching the breath here. Taking a nice mindful deep inhale in. As we exhale, releasing anything we're holding on to in the body. Dropping the shoulders. Lovely. And we're going to grow that now into our slightly longer sun salutation. So when you're ready, inhaling, taking the arms up and overhead. As we exhale, swan diving, bringing ourselves back down, Uttanasana. Lovely. Inhale, find your halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, we're going to step or jump back to your plank or your tabletop. Whichever one feels better for you. Lovely, guys. Match your energy level where you are today. With your next inhale, in nice control, we're going to bring the elbows back, bring the chest towards the earth, knees, chin, chest. And then we'll drop our belly towards the floor, finding our cobra. Lovely, guys. Spreading the fingertips nice and wide. Pinning the elbows in, catching a wave, we'll lift up to our cobra or baby cobra. Finding gentle back bend here, you're lovely, Lizzie. Exhaling, bringing the chest back down towards the earth. And then moving with your breath again, catch a wave here, inhale and lift back up to our cobra. As we exhale, gently lowering ourselves down. Taking that 2 more times, moving with your breath cycle, finding that strength in the arms, that lift in the chest, chest to chin, chin to the sky. Nice flowing back bend here, grounding through the pelvis to really plant the legs. Lovely. When you're ready, we'll tuck the toes under, send the hips all the way back to your downward dog. Lovely, and then we're going to walk, step or jump to the front of your mat. So coming to your Uttanasana. Make sure you look ahead if you're jumping. Lovely. Rolling our way up. We're going to take that one more time. If you want to do lots of cobras again, because that feels nice, you are absolutely welcome to. Or if you want to keep it moving, you can do that as well. So from here, we'll inhale, take the arms up and overhead, reaching for the sky. Exhale, nice fold down towards the earth. Lovely. Inhale, halfway lift, pushing through the legs. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, stepping back to our plank or our tabletop. Lovely. Inhaling, bringing the chest towards the mat. Nice, strong control, knees, chin, chest. Holding it here for a beat. And then exhaling, releasing the belly down to the earth. Going to plant through the legs, plant through the pelvis, start to lift into that cobra. Chest to chin, chin to the sky. Maybe you get a little bit of a stretch across the belly. And you can keep it flowing, keep it moving, or just take a couple breaths here. And then when you're ready, we'll tuck the toes under, send the hips back up, nice and tall for your downward dog. Lovely. Settling in here, finding that same grounding in the heels we had earlier. Sometimes it's helpful to kind of repeat that tiptoe and drop. But finding that kind of energetic grounding down to the mat. Lovely. And then when you're ready, we will step or jump back to our Uttanasana. Maybe take a nice walk. Super, and then we're going to roll all the way up to standing. Pushing through the feet, coming up nice and tall. Rolling the shoulders back. Lovely, guys. Taking a moment here to catch the breath. Maybe grabbing a quick drink or some water if we haven't already. Lovely, before we move into some standing poses. Lovely, guys. So we're going to play around, we're going to challenge our balance a little bit, play around with some balancing poses, mainly looking at our tree. So, but before we do that, finding a really nice connection to the earth, so feeling into all four corners of the feet, maybe closing the eyes for a second if that helps, just to really draw our attention in towards kind of the place where our feet's meeting the mat. Getting a nice firm foundation here, ready for us to kind of unfurl and grow. Lovely, guys. When you're ready, so you can keep the eyelids open or closed, we're going to start to shift our weight into our right leg. Start to lift through the left knee, taking a moment just to find your balance here. So this kind of one-legged pose. Really feeling into the standing leg, so especially that standing toe, pushing into there. Maybe finding your drishti, so somewhere to focus your attention. Noticing the wobble. But coming at it with kind of a playful, fun energy. It doesn't matter if we wobble, if we fall. So a couple breaths here. I like to make the breaths as loud as possible just to really highlight like, oh, look, I'm doing this, I'm balanced. And then when you're ready, we'll take that knee out towards the side. So we're opening out through the hip. Maybe we use that hand or those fingertips just to kind of clasp through the knee. We can even take that opposite arm out nice and wide just to really help with that balance. So remembering to keep breathing, keep smiling. I've got lots of dogs running across the screen, so I'm going to use that as my excuse for why I can't balance today. Holding it here, breathing into the balance. Maybe take that gaze to the opposite hand, so we're looking away from that balancing leg. Nice. And from here, we're going to move towards our tree. If you want to kind of release, give everything a shake just before we go, please do. Or if you want that kind of extra challenge, then from here, we'll start to place that foot somewhere comfortably on the leg. Maybe as we do so, really bringing the palms together so we can bring that connection to the body, to the midline, as we lift through the chest. Holding it here. Growing into our tree, rooting down. Maybe almost imagining that you've got roots coming out of the bottom of your foot, so grounding you into your mat. Simultaneously kind of lifting through the top body. So we're nice and supported, nice and tall. Great, guys, you're looking amazing. We can either hold it here for a few breaths, or we'll start to reach through the fingertips and taking them nice and tall up and overhead, reaching up towards the sky. I advise you not to look at me because I'm wobbling and I'll make you wobble. And then holding it here or with our steeple fingers, bringing those fingertips over towards the bent knee. So finding a little bit of a side stretch here, opening through the rib cage. Lovely, guys, really nice. Meeting your edge, finding that kind of balance, that sweet spot. Lovely. And then when you're ready, we'll bring those steeple fingers back up to center. Release the arms, release the legs, give everything a good shake off. Lovely, guys. Especially giving those ankles a good roll, so especially that left one. Maybe we just stand on our right foot a moment, give that left ankle a little bit of a roll. Super. Shaking out both the legs. Great, before we take it onto the other side. So we're going to do the exact same thing again. I'm going to come and watch you all. So rooting down through both your feet first, so finding that mountain pose, that Tadasana. Feeling into all four corners of the feet, so nice and supported. And then in your own time, when you're ready, we're going to start to shift your weight into the opposite side this time. Lovely. Inhaling, lifting through the knee, so bringing the knee out in front of you just to start. Catching your balance, catching your breath here, maybe spreading through the fingertips just to really make the most of the space that you have. Lovely. And when you're ready, taking that knee out to the side, so opening through the hip. Lovely. If you'd like to, using those fingertips to kind of grasp the knee, sorry. And maybe you're feeling super supported and balanced here. You'll look pretty supported and balanced. Maybe you want to open out through the opposite arm. Maybe gaze follows. Just to take up lots of space to find that opening in the chest. To really reach. To cultivate that energy. Great, guys. Looking good. And there's absolutely no rush for these things, taking our time, taking lovely mindful breaths. And when you're ready, coming to place that foot against your legs, so finding your comfortable tree pose today. And it might be different on this side, that's all good. Bringing the arms together, so into your chest, so pushing through the palms, bring them into your midline, using that kind of drawing inwards of energy to help you find stability. Lovely, guys. Holding it here for a couple breaths. You're doing so well. There's not long left. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale, reach through those fingertips, taking them up towards the sky. And then maybe we find a gentle bend over towards the knee. So grounding through the standing leg. Nice and strong in the pelvis. We're really kind of just gently starting to move from the armpit, finding that opening in the rib cage. Lots of kind of creating space in the side body, and this is really tricky. So shooting up through the fingers. Couple breaths here. Remembering to keep breathing, keep smiling. Planting through the feet. And then when you're ready, we'll come to release. So we'll bring our arms, our hands back up to center. Release through the legs, release through the arms. Give everything a good shake off again. Well done, guys. Very, very nice. Very spring-like. So releasing through those ankles. And then we're going to take the feet kind of hips distance apart, just find a little bit of knocking on heaven's door, just to find a bit of kind of movement and flexibility in the legs. The legs were quite kind of rigid, so the ankle joints and the knees. So nice and gentle, soft on the knees, soft in the legs, swinging the arms around the body, having a little bit of fun with it. Oh, I just hit my wall. Maybe speeding the arms up, allowing the arms to come a little bit higher. And then bringing the arms back into the body, bringing everything together. Giving everything a final good shake down. Lovely. Great, and then we're going to come into our warrior one. So to do that, we'll plant through the feet again. So just as we always do, nice kind of Pada Bandha, so attention to our feet. And as always, we can kind of take a step back, find that nice comfortable gait. Maybe you want to play around with your balance a bit more. So bringing the hands to the hips, bringing the chest down as the foot comes back, finding a little bit of a warrior three on this side. Nice and strong in the center. And then dropping that leg back down. Lovely, making any adjustments if we need to once we get there. So remembering those train tracks, you want the legs kind of hips distance apart, not kind of on that tight rope. And we'll take our time just to start to ease in to that warrior one. So making sure that back heel is kind of turned slightly inwards, the back foot is on that angle. Bending into that front knee just to really activate that front leg, find a bit of kind of strength, bit of power, from finding that place that your knee is going to feel nice and strong and supported. So keeping the breath going, pushing through that back leg. Nice, guys. I'm actually going to swivel around just so I can keep watching you. Holding it here for a few breaths, starting to feel that kind of shift in energy. Noticing that moment, it maybe starts to become a bit more challenging, where you start to feel a bit of a shake. Maybe it's felt like that since we were there, and that's all good as well. So seeing where you can kind of find your edge here, whether that's softening or going a little bit deeper. And when you're ready, seeing how it feels to lift your arm up and overhead, so shooting that energy through the arms, full body experience. Keeping that breath going, lifting the chest up towards the sky. Keep grounding through that back foot. And then when you're ready with your next exhale, we'll open through those arms, find your warrior two. Lovely, guys. Just move my bottom out of the way. So making any adjustments here, maybe I always need to turn my foot out, back out just a little bit. Sinking into that thigh, so really seeing if you can feel that sensation in kind of the adductors or the inner leg. Keeping that back leg nice and strong, arms nice and fierce. Noticing how it feels in warrior two today. Noticing what comes up. Lovely, guys. Keeping that going. Couple more breaths here. Keep breathing, keep smiling. We're holding it for a good amount of time so that we can start to notice when our energy shifts, when our mindset changes. And when you're ready, we'll straighten through that front leg. Bring the hands to the waist, turn that leg in, and then it's up to you. We want to kind of rebalance here. So maybe you want to take a wide-legged forward fold. Maybe you want to jump the legs together and shake them off. Whichever one feels nicer for you. Before we take it over to the other side. I'm going to take some nice hip circles here. Nice for me, probably not very nice for anyone else to look at, but that's fine. Lovely. And when you're ready, we'll all meet back at the top of our mat to take that little bit on the other side. So finding our mountain pose again, connecting to the feet. Again, either stepping back into your warrior one, or maybe coming through a little warrior three. Now that we're super practiced on our balance from all those tree poses, bringing ourselves down. Getting the legs in a nice, strong, comfortable position as we start to bend into that front knee. Continuing to push through the back leg. Lovely, guys. Looking good. Powering through those legs, sending the chest forward. Keeping the breath going. Nice and strong. Really planting, grounding through the feet. When you're ready, nice big inhale in. We'll take the arms up and overhead. Lots of energy, buoyancy in the arms, nice and light. Holding it here for a few breaths. Noticing if you're feeling this kind of in the center, in the back, in your legs. Feeling supported by your body. Holding it here, noticing any shakes, any wobbles, the prana moving around. And then when you're ready with your next exhale, we'll open up into your warrior two, sending the hips forward, sending the arms out, keeping that integrity in the legs. Lovely, guys. Taking the gaze over the front fingertips. It's almost like a balance here as well. Obviously, you know, we're still on both feet, we're still planted, sinking down. But finding that kind of sweet spot where kind of effort meets ease. Keeping the breath going. Noticing how it feels on this side. Lovely, guys. Great. When you're ready, we'll start to straighten through that front leg. Bring the hands down, same thing again. We're going to turn the feet in. Maybe we jump the feet together, give everything a good shake off. Maybe with an inhale, we come up nice and tall. With an exhale, sink that chest down, bringing ourselves into our forward fold. Oh, releasing here. So releasing in the front and the top body. Using our legs to support us. You can keep a nice gentle bend in the knees, or maybe we stretch out the back of the legs by keeping the legs nice and straight. Super, guys. When you're ready, we'll start to roll our way back up, back to standing. Super. Grabbing a drink if you need one. So we've got a couple more standing poses to do before we start to come closer towards the ground. So grabbing a drink here. Super. And then we're going to come straight into our warrior two this time. So I'm going to take it on the left. My left knee is bending forward. Finding that nice sturdy position with your legs. So feeling strong, feeling supported. Making sure we're really pushing through that back leg as we start to open out through the arms. Lovely, guys. So we're going to move through a couple movements here. The aim being that we're going to keep our legs kind of just as they are. So we're going to keep planting through the legs, kind of sinking, grounding into the earth. And then we're really going to aim to kind of move from our hips, so moving the top body. But before we go anywhere, we're going to sink into our warrior two. Notice what it feels like to be here. Lovely. When you're ready with your next breath, I'm going to start to bring that elbow towards the knee. Being careful not to kind of collapse the weight in. I'm just kind of gently resting it. And then I'm going to bring that top arm all the way up and overhead, Parsvakonasana. Super. So I'm keeping the knee bent, but I'm going to keep pushing through that back leg. So you're almost aiming to have kind of a diagonal line from that back ankle all the way up to your fingertips. Lifting through the center, anchoring through that back foot. So back foot helping you find a little bit of energy, a little bit of lift. Keeping the breath going. This is, I mean, all of these poses tend to be quite strong poses. But just, you know, this is never one that kind of feels easy, I don't think. Doesn't in my experience anyway. Just feeling strong, feeling supported here. We're kind of building all that energy that we're going to need for spring and everything that it brings. We're here for 3, 2, 1. And then as if I'm lifting you from that top finger, we're going to come all the way up, back to our warrior two. Maybe straighten through the front leg, send that opposite arm up just to get a counterbalance to stretch through that front side body. Oh, keeping the breath going, feeling into your belly. Well, I'm feeling the big bowl of broccoli pasta that I had just before yoga. And then we'll bring the elbow down, bring the arm down. We're going to take this onto the other side. So kind of tick-tocking the feet around, I'm going to bring my left toes in, send the right toes out, find my warrior two on this side. Lovely, guys. Moving into that warrior two. Keeping that integrity in the back leg, so keep anchoring through that back foot. That's really going to help us when we start to shift our weight and our center of gravity. Opening through the arms. Keeping the breath going. And we can hold it here, or when you're ready, we'll start to move towards our Parsvakonasana, so bringing the elbow down to that front knee, sending those top fingertips up and all the way across to kind of Complete that diagonal line. Lifting kind of through the rib cage, so we're opening through the heart space, kind of sending the heart straight out in front of you. Holding it here, noticing the muscles of the legs start to shift and activate. Cultivating lots of lovely energy here to make us feel strong, confident. Holding it here for a couple breaths, noticing where the breath is, noticing where the mind is. And noticing if you're starting to want to leave the pose, you're going, God, how much longer, Courtney? Well, we're here for 3, 2, 1. We'll lift through those fingertips, bring ourselves back to warrior 2. Lovely, and then we'll take that peaceful warrior again, just to counter the movements, straight through the leg, bringing the arms back, nice reach up, nice and tall. Big stretch here. Lovely, guys. And then we'll bring the elbow back down, bring both toes to face the long edge of the mat, then either heel toe, or jump the legs together. Lizzie, I'd suggest a heel toe. And then give everything a good shake off. Very well done, guys. Lovely. So we've done lots of strong standing poses. We now want to make sure we kind of stretch out the legs. But we're going to do a couple things just to wake up the arms before we do so. So a couple squats just to get us down. So from here, we're going to ground through the feet. Take the arms straight out in front of us. As we inhale, come onto our tiptoes. As we exhale, a bit of a balance, kind of bring ourselves down. So lower the hips through a squat, really pushing down towards the earth. Lovely. As we inhale, we'll reach back up, pushing through the toes. Nice big reach. As we exhale, bringing ourselves back down. So lots of nice control. Feeling the body as it kind of contracts and opens. We'll do it one more time. Inhaling, reaching up towards the sky. A little bit of balance. As we exhale, bringing ourselves back down to our squat. Lovely, guys. So as promised, we're going to have a little bit of a moment just to wake the arms up. From this squat, we're going to come to find our crow position. So whether you actually come into crow, into Bakasana is up to you. But from here, we're going to bring the fingertips down, spread the fingertips nice and wide. So really pushing into the fingers and the thumbs so you get that little bit of space between the center of the hands and the mat again. From here, we're going to bend through the elbows gently. As we inhale, start to bring the knees up towards the armpits. Lovely. And we can stay here nice and supported. We can even kind of just rock back and forth, finding that shape. And you'll really start to feel that kind of sensation in the arms. You might want to make sure your gaze is kind of directly ahead of you. So not underneath you, but just out in front. Just to stop you kind of thinking you're going to collapse and fall onto your face. And then obviously option, if you would like to, maybe we start to lift through one toe, lift through the other, find a bit of lift off and find your crow. But that's just an option. You're still going to get a lot of kind of energy come through your arms, through your body. You're still going to feel that kind of lift of buoyancy without lifting the feet. So that really is very much optional, as everything is in yoga. So having a little play, keeping the breath going. And then when you're ready, we'll come to roll the bum back. Whew, maybe we feel a bit of a thud. Lovely. And we're going to take a couple final stretches, but we're going to do that in cow's legs. So to do that, I'm going to bring my right foot underneath the left, so bringing the right heel almost kind of underneath my right hip. And then I'm going to cross my left leg over the top. So I can almost kind of hold on to both feet. Knees don't need to be kind of directly on top of one another. but kind of holding onto my feet. I'll take my thumb to the soles of my feet. With an inhale, lengthen through the back, bring the chest up. Lovely, guys. And then I'm going to start to bend over towards the right. Sorry, I can't get my words this evening. So bringing my right hand down, lifting through the left arm, finding a bit of a stretch here, reaching through those fingertips. And then just as we did at the beginning, you can either cartwheel the arms round or walk our way over to the other side. Take that stretch on the other side. Grounding through the legs, just noticing that slight shift in sensation in the cow legs position. And then reining those fingertips back down. Lovely, guys. And then we'll cross these legs over. So taking them out nice and wide. Finding our cow's legs position. So feeling that kind of connection between the different layers of the legs. And then holding onto the feet as we sit up nice and tall. And as we exhale, find our side stretch on this side. So planting, rooting through the left arm, lifting through the right, coming on over. Keeping the breath going. And then we'll windmill the arms around, coming over to the other side. Keeping our feet nice and connected to the earth, nice and grounded. So as we kind of grow and reach up in the arms, finding energy, we're stretching, we keep the same level of kind of groundedness in the legs. Lovely. Bringing that arm back down. Super. We'll uncross the legs. And then everyone's favorite bit, we're going to head down towards Shavasana. We'll do a couple more stretches, but if you do want to grab anything, now is the time to do it. If you want to pop some layers on, adjust the lighting, anything you want to do to make it cozy. Maybe grab a pillow or something for under your head. And then when you get there, really kind of bringing the knees in towards the chest. So Apanasana, wind relieving pose. I like to take a nice little rock from side to side here just to really feel into the sacrum. Give yourself a nice little massage here. And then when you're ready, we'll interlace the fingers, bring the left knee into the chest, send the right foot out nice and long, nice and active in the toes, getting a little bit of a hip opener here. Feeling into the belly. Sensing your nice long legs. So really feeling all the way from kind of the lower back, the glutes down to the foot. Switching the legs over if we haven't already. Finding that length in the opposite side now. Sinking and releasing into the earth. Grounding through the back body. When you're ready, we'll bring that knee in. Option to take the hands, reach for the feet between the knees, and then maybe gently start to bring one foot out, and then the other, finding your kind of happy baby here. Maybe we bring both legs out if that feels good, if we've got kind of the space in the hips today. Same as Apanasana, maybe we get a little bit of a rock. Or maybe we're just opening through the knees, really grounding down, finding that balanced position here. Feeling held and supported by your mat. Enjoying the stretch, the opening. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring those heels down, take them as wide as your mat. And then depending how much space you have, either taking your arms out long or kind of cactusing the arms. And we'll gently start to melt the knees over towards the left. Not worrying, they don't need to touch the floor, but just feeling that kind of energy, that momentum, and melting them down to that side. Noticing where you feel the stretch, whether you're feeling it in the outer hip, in the arms, the shoulders, the core. Holding it here for a few breaths. Nice and gently bringing the knees back up to center, melting them over to the other side. Just as we just did, keeping the breath going, scanning the body to notice where you feel the stretch. When you're ready, bringing the knees back up and then choosing how you'd like to take your final relaxation this evening. So maybe we take the legs out nice and long for your Shavasana. You could take a supine Baddha Konasana to bring the ankles in together, take the knees nice and wide. Maybe you want to kind of almost do the opposite of that, take the feet nice and wide, drop the knees in for your constructive rest. So either of them or anything different is absolutely fine. But finding a position where you can get nice and comfortable and you can start to close your eyes and begin to pay attention to how your breath flows in and out of your body in this pose. Notice as your breath travels from your belly, through your rib cage, through your chest, through your throat. Allowing the breath to feel lovely and wonderful and hopefully calming. As you exhale, exhaling everything that's happened during the day. Imagining breathing in some peacefulness. Maybe visualizing little bubbles of peacefulness if that's helpful. So bubbles of air containing relaxation, containing peace. Traveling to all parts of your body and filling it up completely. Feeling calm and peaceful and relaxed right now. So spring is upon us, this new and fresh season. Be a wonderful time to make room for lovely things to kind of happen in life. It's a time for new perspectives, to allow light to kind of challenge the darkness. And just as we see in nature, we can remind ourselves that we are growing and changing each and every day. Just as the seasons that came before, this season brings a new you. So just how in winter months certain flowers disappear, only to come back stronger, so do you. You've been hibernating all winter, nice and cozy, cultivating, storing, protecting that energy, nourishing our bodies. And your body has protected you through those cold, hard months. But now spring approaches. As rains fall from the heavens, we can soak up the rain, the water, and allow it to renew us and gently wake us up. Start to feel the beautiful warmth of the sun on your face. And as you do, you can break through your bulb and start to grow into the beautiful, bright, proud person you are becoming. Much like all of life. So tending to that seed here, breathing in, thinking of that seed, that intention that we'd like to nurture and develop in the next few days, few weeks, few months. Holding that intention in our mind for a couple breaths whilst we go nice and quiet, imagining that it is already so. You've done a beautiful job relaxing the body today, tending to your seed. So when you're ready, giving your body a big stretch or a big hug. Starting to bring some movement back, maybe opening the eyes. And keeping this nice sensation of peace that we've cultivated, we'll very gently and slowly start to bring ourselves back towards seated, but moving the body in any way that feels right before we do so. So maybe rolling through the wrists, through the ankles, hugging the body, stretching the body, taking a nice big yawn. Then either keeping the eyes closed or keeping the gaze gently towards the earth. We'll bring our palms into the heart space, Anjali Mudra. So offering our practice, offering it up. Bringing back to the forefront of our minds that image of whatever it is that you wish to do. Whatever seed it is you wish to plant. Seeing it in your mind as already being real, already being true. Sending ourselves love and pride and cheering ourselves on in that ambition. So feel your heart welling up because of your ambition, because of what you've set your mind to do and what we will focus on. So when we're ready, offering that intention up to the third eye, taking the thumbs between the eyebrows, offering it to our mouth, our throat chakra, and offering it to our heart, sending it lots of love and mindful attention. So thank you for practicing with me. Thank you for practicing with each other. And I will see you all very, very soon. Have a lovely evening. Thank you, everybody. Lovely to have you all here. I hope you're all feeling okay. You all did very well on those balances. I'm going to end the recording. So thank you, everybody at home.